Welcome to today's explainer. Before we really dive in, I just want to invite you to do something super simple. Just take a breath. Seriously, drop your shoulders, kind of quiet the noise around you, and step into a peaceful, unhurried headspace with us for a bit. Today we're exploring this deeply reflective, absolutely beautiful chain of thoughts about self-love, existence, and honestly what we can learn from the simple, invisible forces around us. We're going to walk through the internal monologue of a person sitting in a park whose quiet interaction with a passing breeze leads to this literal game changer of a realization about the immense pressure we all face to become someone. It's an explainer dedicated entirely to the lost art of choosing to just be.
All right, part one, escaping the digital world and finding our grounding.
Okay, let's dive into this. The source text brings us right into the physical experience of a narrator just sitting on a chair in a large park, really grappling with some heavy questions about where to actually find true happiness. You know, they're contemplating this deep craving for happiness in places they know give absolutely nothing in return. They start wondering why we deny happiness when it finally shows up with love, and then this really poignant thought hits them. Maybe loving oneself is literally the only foundational way to ever truly love someone else. But right in the middle of these heavy, vulnerable thoughts, the physical world interrupts. A breeze physically interacts with them. It kisses their shoulder. It literally messes with their hair. And this isn't just wind, right? It's a sensory awakening. It pulls the narrator entirely out of that rigid modern world of digital 0 and 1 code and places them firmly back into their own skin.
Think about it. We are all so used to this sterile mental environment. Just endless digital code, algorithms, and streams of data constantly demanding our attention. But contrasting all of that is the grounding, undeniable physical presence of the breeze in that park. The wind basically acted as a tether to reality. It proved that the narrator exists outside of that digital binary headspace. It's a super powerful reminder of how a simple connection to nature can instantly shatter the walls of our hyper-connected, yet, let's face it, deeply disconnected digital lives. Which brings us to section 2, the illusion of finding purpose.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it challenges everything we're taught. We are all super familiar with the age-old myths that rush us into believing we have to constantly, relentlessly search for our grand life's purpose. It's exhausting. But here, sitting in the park, the illusion of that endless search starts to unravel. The breeze begins to whisper a completely different philosophy. It redefines ambition entirely. It suggests that maybe, instead of burning yourself out trying to find your purpose, you should simply let it find you. The idea is, if you truly have a purpose, it's going to come to you. You don't have to chase it down. Just listen to this thought. A ship sails in the direction of the sea doesn't move for the ship. The breeze delivered this beautiful metaphor with absolutely perfect clarity. The narrator actually notes that the wind spoke gently enough to be understood, but not loud enough to break the peace of the park. It acted almost like a cleansing thought. And honestly, whether this was the breeze whispering or just the narrator's own inner voice manifesting, it's a profoundly calming perspective shift. The sea simply exists, and the ship finds its way there.
Moving on to part 3, the freedom of just being. As this connection deepens, the narrator actually begins to personify the wind as a she, a loving, formless presence that offers an embrace whether you notice it or not. They feel held so lovingly that it brings up this profound, deep-seated sense of belonging. But naturally, because human minds do what human minds do, the narrator starts overthinking it. They wonder, what is the point of all this? And the wind responds with this incredible simplicity. That's the point. There is no point. There's nothing to understand. The wind didn't just speak these words. The narrator felt them through the flowing, cradling movements of the breeze's invisible hands. It's an absolute rejection of our constant need to intellectualize every single moment.
Then the wind poses a question. She asks, if you let yourself be free, will you be you, or will you be someone who is free? What does that make you? I want to turn this profound question directly to you for a second. Really think about that. In the text, the breeze doesn't just ask and leave. She rubs against the narrator's cheeks, waiting for an answer. And she isn't waiting with mere curiosity. She's waiting with this deep, still sense of consciousness.
So, the crucial point here is the realization that the wind wants them to understand something vital. There's literally nothing to know. Constantly trying to figure things out only forces us into a mold, right? It shapes us into who we are supposed to be based on our own critical inner voices. The breeze's ultimate instruction, her final, gentle command, was simply this: rather, let yourself just be there.
And that leads us into our final section, letting go of becoming.
Let's see how this all builds together. Having imparted this wisdom, the wind finally lets go. Not out of purpose, but just flowing by on her natural course. But a part of her presence permanently remains within the narrator. This entire beautiful poetic encounter really evolved in 3 phases. Step 1 was purely physical, feeling the breeze pull the mind away from all that digital noise. Step 2 was hearing the wind's actual message about the illusion of purpose. And Step 3 was an existential merging, absorbing her presence into the self, knowing that a piece of that formless freedom is now a permanent part of them. The wind points toward a truly valuable lesson, dropping the heavy societal burden of constantly trying to become something. I mean, we all carry this immense pressure to define ourselves, to figure it all out, to forge this rigid identity. It's a lot. But what the breeze offers is the ultimate contrast, the absolute freedom of just being present, without the exhausting pursuit of becoming. The wind left the narrator with these final ideas as she flowed away into infinity, way beyond the ancient trees that had stood in the park for centuries, and really beyond thought itself. Her parting concept was this: by letting go of the pressure of becoming someone, you have to ask yourself, in the pursuit of becoming someone, are you ready to be anyone? It's a breathtaking thought. If we are so desperate to fit a mold and become someone, do we risk losing who we truly are, just to be anyone that society accepts? I want to leave you with that provocative thought to reflect on today. Is there a piece of nature waiting to help you unravel your own digital noise? Until next time,